Coming up next on Arizona Horizon, Matt Giordano, the new chief of police for the city of Phoenix, joins us in studio. Also tonight, the effects of the government shutdown on telehealth appointments for Medicare recipients. And we'll hear about a new compact X-ray that sees things a traditional X-ray can't. Those stories and more next on Arizona Horizon.
Arizona Horizon is made possible by contributions from the Friends of Arizona PBS, members of your public television station.
Good evening and welcome to Arizona Horizon. I'm Ted Simons. The city of Phoenix has its first permanent police chief in 3 years. Matt Giordano was sworn into office in late August. Giordano returns to the department where he spent 23 years before retiring in 2017. He went on to serve with the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office and the Arizona Peace Officer Standards and Training Board. We welcome Phoenix Police Chief Matt Giordano to Arizona Horizon. Good to have you here. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Ted. I appreciate it.
Did I get those dates right? 17 years on the force, then with the Sheriff's Department, and then with Standards and Practices?
Left in 2017, 23 years.
23, okay.
Yep.
All right. Chief of Police, City of Phoenix, why did you want this job?
It's a great question, and one a lot of people have asked me. I had a great job. I had a great career. I was not unhappy when I left the department. I was in a great place, but Paul Penzone offered me a really unique opportunity to go to the sheriff's office to follow the former sheriff. So I went over there with him, and I retired, but I retired happy. The city of Phoenix was great to me. The police department, wonderful place to work. I was over at Arizona Post. I'd been there about 6.5 years. Another great job, surrounded by really good people doing a really good mission, certifying and training police officers for the entire state. And then this opportunity came open, and I thought, you know what? Why not? Why not me? You know, why not go back and end my career wearing this uniform where it began my career? So here I am.
You mentioned Post and Standards and Training Board and these sorts of things. What can you take from that experience to what you're doing now?
Oh, 100%. Everything I learned there is going to be transferable back to where I'm at now. I grew up in Phoenix PD. I had 23 years of what Phoenix PD did, how we hired, how we trained, how we disciplined, how we held officers accountable. Then I got to see it from the sheriff's perspective. Totally different. Then I got to see it at Arizona Post, where I supervised and oversaw 158 police agencies. So I saw all those same things, how they trained, how they hired, how they disciplined their officers. I'm taking the best of all of that, and I'm bringing it back to the Phoenix Police Department.
You've used the word accountability. What does that word mean to you in this context?
We hire humans, and humans make mistakes, and we need to make sure we provide them the training, the experience, and the skills to do their job effectively. But again, humans make mistakes. They're going to make mistakes, and they need to be held accountable. We need to ensure that we point out our clear expectations on the front end and point out where they fail to meet those expectations, and then figure out why. Is it intentional? We can deal with that. Or is it just a lack of training, a lack of knowledge, lack of skills, and we can provide that. We want everyone to be successful.
Do these things go in cycles where it seems like there's more of one thing, maybe less of one thing? I mean, you know what I'm saying here?
I do, and we always look for patterns and opportunities. If we see 3 or 4 officers in 1 week do the same thing wrong, clearly there's probably a training issue there we need to address, and we'll dig deep into that and figure out where we might have made a mistake. But I think it's cyclical all over the valley, all over the department on officer misconduct and where people make mistakes.
And another word you use a lot is transparency. Again, in this context, what does that mean?
That just means that we're an open book. We work for the community. We serve at the pleasure of the community, and we need to make sure they understand why we're doing what we're doing. And if we do make a mistake, we explain how it happened and how we're going to eliminate that in the future. But again, it's the why, and I really talk a lot about why. So when someone asks me, why are you doing that? I need to be able to explain that to them, why we're doing what we're doing, because historically we haven't been good at that in the police world.
I was going to ask about that. Has that been an issue with the Phoenix Police Department, and is that something that needs to be worked on?
It's been a problem with policing in general, not just the Phoenix Police Department. I talk about it a lot when I was a young patrol officer, being on a street corner guarding a scene, and a community member would walk up and ask me, hey, what's going on? I knew it happened, but I was trained unofficially on no comment, nothing to see here, keep moving on. Now, looking back, I'm almost a little bit ashamed of myself because I could have alleviated concerns. I didn't realize they were coming up because they might have been concerned for their own safety, concerned with what was going on in their neighborhood. I could have alleviated that. So now I train that. When I teach at the academy, which I do quite often, go down and talk to the recruits, I explain to them, let's tell people the why.
We have had, and this is a why that I'm going to ask you, we've had an increase in police-involved shootings here of late in Phoenix. I think 9 fatal and police-involved shootings this year. We've seen, I think the mayor called it an uptick, but we've seen an uptick actually since you've taken office. What's going on out there? What's happening?
Yeah, no, it is. It's a cycle, like you talked about, cyclical. Things go up and down. We've just had a run in the last 10 weeks, or the 8 weeks. We've had 10 officer-involved shootings. 9 of those calls are calls for service that we responded to. They weren't initiated by the officer. And we get called when people are having bad days. There's bad things happening. We're called to respond to those, and we have to handle those accordingly. Again, we always use those opportunities to look for ways to improve. We look for additional avenues of training should that be necessary. We're always critiquing. We're our biggest critics, and we critique everything we do, so always looking for ways to improve.
The idea of de-escalation and the idea of less lethal methods, is that something that, when you see an uptick, as the mayor called it here, just an increase, is that a time to reinforce those ideas? How does that work?
Oh, absolutely. We already rolled out a program we did last year called Time, Distance, and Cover training. There are 3 different blocks of training. I just went through it myself last week. They're very good refreshers to our officers that time's on our side. Slow things down. Take your time. Distance. Keep your distance from the person you're dealing with, so it's a safety feature. And then as well as cover. Stand behind something so you have that buffer between you and the person you're dealing with. Just a refresher. So we're always looking at ways to improve.
As chief of police and moving into this office, of course, this police department has been involved under the eye of the Justice Department and found a bunch of things there. It's not anymore, but was for quite a while here. Do you think the department did engage in, if not unconstitutional, certainly questionable methods regarding the homeless, regarding people of color, these sorts of things? That's what the DOJ found. Did you agree with that?
I didn't. I read the report. I've read it multiple times. There's some things there we're taking away from that. We think processes and procedures we've already changed based on the feedback we got from the community reference that report. I think Phoenix Police Department is a very good police department. Do we make mistakes? Absolutely. Are we always looking internally to see how we can do things better? We're doing that as well. So again, that report was hard to read. We have to own some of that and move forward and get better.
So when they mention things like excessive force, is that something, again, not ignored, but is it something that is looked at, examined, and worked upon to the extent that people in the community will say, yes, we feel better about this? Because there are a lot of people, not everyone, but a lot of people in the community, they don't feel very good about the Phoenix Police Department.
No, and I understand that, and that's a problem for me, and it's a concern of mine. We investigate every single use of force on our department, and those reports are available for public review down the road.
So what would you say to people watching right now who just feel a little iffy about the department, and certainly the department's past?
Ask us questions. Ask us questions. Request documentation if you'd like to read it for yourselves. Look at our dashboards on phoenix.gov for the police department. We post a lot of things online now. You can read the reports. You can read the investigations. And if there's something you're not seeing on there, make a public records request, because again, we're fully transparent and we will release those documents to you. We police to the expectation of the community, and I believe the community expects us to be transparent, and that's what we're doing.
Last question. What would you say to officers, the rank and file? You've said you want to support officers with what they need to serve the city better. What would you say to them to give them confidence in you?
That I support them, that if they follow the rules, treat people well, that I will support them 100%.
Okay, do you think that message is getting through?
I think it is. I'm going out, hitting all the briefings. I'm hitting different bureaus and precincts. I'm going out to scenes to talk to officers out on the street, to engage them where they work. I'm listening to them. We also have a web email address that comes directly to me if they should have questions, and I'm routinely responding to them, answering their questions. So again, making myself available, transparent to the community, as well as transparent to the men and women inside the Phoenix Police Department.
Phoenix Police Chief Matt Giordano, it's good to have you here. Thank you so much for the conversation. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Arizona PBS and ASU's School of Civic and Economic Thought and Leadership bring great minds together in the Civic Discourse Project. From civic leaders to top scholars, hear conversations that challenge us through civil dialogue while tackling history, politics, race, and other issues shaping America today.
In this this episode, actors Cheryl Lee Ralph and historian Lonnie Bunch uncover their roots. You descend from a free person of color.
This is who I am. It's very moving.
I come from people who never gave up.
Tuesday night at 7 on Arizona PBS.
His goal will be to make America healthy again.
Senator Kennedy has been shot.
This is an inescapable trauma.
He's pushing back against people who've told him he's a fraud.
They're not playing by the rules. They're not using gold standard science.
He's the most famous Kennedy in America right now.
Tuesday night at 9 on Arizona PBS.
Telehealth waivers for Medicare patients date back to the pandemic and allow for those patients to receive medical care in their homes, but the waivers expired as of October 1st, with Congress allowing the waivers to lapse due to the government shutdown. What is the impact of losing telehealth services for those on Medicare? We asked former State Health Director Will Humble, Executive Director of the Arizona Public Health Association. Will, good to see you. Thanks for joining us here.
Thanks, Ted.
All right. Is telehealth now no longer being paid by Medicare for everyone on Medicare or for just some on Medicare? How's this working?
So it depends on where you live and what kind of Medicare you have. So if you've got regular Medicare, and you're in Phoenix or Tucson, that's an urban area, basically it's almost impossible to get a telehealth appointment with your doctor for chronic medical conditions, primary care visits, follow-up for things like diabetes, stuff like that, because it's no longer authorized. That's not something that they can bill for and get paid for. There's a little more flexibility in the rural parts of the state. There's a few more opportunities to continue to get telehealth on traditional Medicare, especially on the mental health side. But most of it can't be done in the home anymore. And that's the real key feature with telehealth, is that there's a lot of people who can't drive anymore and need to still see their doctor. And telehealth gave them an opportunity to really go see, to have an interaction with their doctor, get a prescription, get an assessment, get some guidance from their doc without having to drive in. And that driving part of it is really a key feature of why Medicare and telehealth was so important, and why people, and not just people, providers, doctors liked it too.
Yes, but again, no appointments now. If you had an appointment prior to October 1st, though, you're okay.
Probably, but I don't know. I don't really know.
Yeah.
Because the reimbursement ended on October 1st for those kinds of
So
visits.
it's the reimbursement, not. I got you.
If you're not getting paid for something, then you're not going to do it.
So we're talking wellness visits, like audio-only visits, these sort of. That's ball game. It's over.
Yeah. Pretty much, yeah. Now, not for mental health. So certain kinds of mental health services can still be provided, but not necessarily from your home. So my take-home message for all the people listening out there: don't get mad at your doctor or the person who answers the phone at your doctor's office because you can't make a telehealth appointment. That's not their fault. It's because it's no longer authorized under Medicare.
Okay, but are some providers, are some hospitals still going ahead anyway with the hope of getting reimbursed?
Could be. I mean, some of them could continue to be doing that. Also, there are some people who have not just traditional Medicare, but Medicare Advantage plans, and some of those are more flexible about telehealth appointments.
But again, there's no guarantee of even the reimbursements.
That's correct.
Yeah, and this is a big deal.
Oh, it's a huge deal for especially seniors, people who have difficulty getting around, people who have maybe they don't have a driver's license anymore, or know that they're a hazard on the road and they shouldn't be driving, and they've now made this telehealth relationship with their doctor for their diabetes, for their arthritis, for their whatever the chronic medical condition is, and now they're losing that. Now, before the pandemic, there wasn't much telehealth,
right?
But it came in force, and people really liked it, both providers and patients.
You mentioned some conditions there. Are there illnesses, are there conditions that are more affected, I should say, than others?
So I'm glad you brought that up, because there's a bill in Congress called the CONNECT Act. It's bipartisan, and the goal of the CONNECT Act is to do two different things. A, reauthorize telehealth, but also answer that question you just asked. What kinds of conditions have a positive return on investment for telehealth, so that makes it more effective and cheaper? And so we already know things like diabetes care, some kinds of primary care visits, a whole host of chronic medical conditions are really, and this is a really effective way to help provide that kind of care and treatment for people. But the CONNECT Act would dive into the details of that and get more refined. And the other thing the CONNECT Act would do, if we could get it passed, but it's such gridlock, it's not happening, is it would set up an auditing system so that you could have an entire Medicare system to say, hey, look, to looking for that fraud piece.
Yes.
And that's why telehealth was really so far behind the curve, is because everyone was so afraid of this is going to be so much fraud. Medicaid access was really afraid of telehealth too before the pandemic. And so the CONNECT Act would do that loop. A, look at the kinds of things it's good for, but B, set up an auditing system to prevent the kinds of, anytime you have a government program, there's people who want to game it. And you have to have systems in place to prevent that from happening.
That being said, the CONNECT Act, is there bipartisan support for this?
Yes, there's bipartisan support for it.
Okay, if there is bipartisan support for this, could this be an entryway to getting some of these telehealth situations, especially with folks on Medicare, to getting this stuff back online? Or is that, you think, caught up in gridlock? Once again, these folks come back.
Yeah, well, it's all gridlock right now. Now the big deal is the budget. House isn't even in session to do anything. Right. I think that lawmakers, both in the House and the Senate, they're going to start to hear from their constituents. Seniors are not shy about telling their congresspersons that they're pissed about something. And they're going to start hearing as more and more of these appointments end up being denied. I just want to get the message out to them, like, don't get mad at your doctor. Get mad at your congressperson and your senators who haven't brought this up.
And we're coming up to cold and flu season here, so that puts an accent on the whole thing.
Correct.
All right. Last question here. You mentioned, kind of referred to this earlier, but is telehealth a remnant of the pandemic? Is this something that existed because of the pandemic? You say that everyone loves it and they want to get it back. That being said, it wasn't there all that much before. Are we going to go back to that? Is that the natural state of things?
I think it's too. I think it's too valuable. I think people are going to demand that it come back, especially seniors, which is the Medicare population. And you're right. There was a little bit of telehealth before the pandemic, but it's kind of like work from home. Like not that many people work from home. Now it's like super commonplace. Same thing with telehealth. That really showed that it can be cost effective, not much fraud, and patients and doctors like it. And doctors can see more patients too. And patients don't have to do all that driving.
Yeah, it's like the Zoom of healthcare, right? I mean, we know what Zoom was until the pandemic, and now you can't get away from it.
Right. I think it's going to come back. I just don't think that you can pull something like this away from people that was so successful over the long run.
Yeah.
Now, right now we're in gridlock and it's stuck, but I think it's coming back.
And if it unstucks with that, then maybe some other things come down the pike as well. And again, we can look at telehealth and the whole nine, to connect the whole 9 yards.
This is not a partisan issue.
Yes.
Medicare, the telehealth for Medicare isn't like a polarized issue. It's just stuck in this gridlock.
Will Humble, Arizona Public Health Association. Will, always a pleasure. Thank you, sir.
My pleasure.
The Compact X-ray Free Electron Laser, or CXFEL, is being developed by ASU researchers with the goal of surpassing conventional X-rays by examining atomic and molecular scale structures with newfound clarity. And joining us now is the director of ASU's CXFEL Labs. There he is, Arvinder Sandhu. Arvinder, good to have you here. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
So I'm reading a lot of stuff here. I don't know what I'm talking about here. What are we talking about? It sounds like it is the next generation of X-ray. True?
That's correct. So CXFEL is a unique machine which is first of its kind in the world. And what we are doing is we are combining very high power laser technology with miniature accelerators to produce X-rays that can help us see at the atomic scale. And this means that we can now understand the working of proteins. We can do medical imaging in a safer way. We can also look at the materials which are important for light harvesting and energy generation. And just to put this in perspective, what's special about CXFEL is that there are only 5 or so X-ray lasers in the world, and they're all very big machines. They have accelerators in tunnels which are kilometers long, and they cost billions to build, whereas CXFEL is a 30 feet long machine. It fits in a lab, and it costs only millions, so it's accessible to everyone.
I was going to say, when researching this, it sounded like it was a mini particle accelerator. Is that
Indeed.
what it is?
You're right. One key part of it is a mini accelerator. The other key part is lasers. So we bring them together in a very unique way to produce X-ray radiation by wiggling the electrons.
And it's basically, the idea is you can learn what proteins are and what they're doing.
That's right. So using X-rays, we can, I can give you an analogy here, which might be useful. If you're, let's say, sitting by a lake shore and you're relaxed and watching the waves come by, the waves may come in predictable patterns, but if there are any rocks near the lake shore, the waves will deflect off the rocks and will make very interesting patterns. And what we do is the same thing. X-rays for us are the waves which hit the atoms inside the protein, which are like rocks in the lake. So the X-rays deflect.
Oh, wow.
And we capture these deflected X-rays on a detector, and from that we back calculate where the atoms were in a protein, and therefore we can understand what the structure of the protein was.
Now, is quantum physics involved with this at all?
Of course, it is quantum physics, because not only we want to understand where the atoms are, but we also want to understand how the atoms move. And the atoms and the electrons inside atoms move at really fast quantum timescales, which approach millionth of a billionth of a second. So we want to make this machine to capture not just static pictures, we want to make the movies of these molecules as they're in process of undergoing chemical reactions or transformations.
And you've got a success here of late regarding proteins, correct?
That's correct. I'm very happy to report that, thanks to excellent work from our team of scientists and engineers, we have solved the very first protein structure at ASU. And what it means is that now we can invite other researchers worldwide to join us in this effort, and we can accelerate the pace of scientific and applied discovery in these fields.
And when you talk about accelerating that pace of discovery for what? How disease works, how medicine works, both of those things?
A lot of things. So this is a very high impact machine. In fact, it has a generational impact on health, medicine, science, and technology. I'll give you an example. If you understand the protein structure, then you can design drugs that bind to that specific structure. So it helps in devising new drugs for treatments of diseases like Alzheimer's. You can also do medical imaging in much more safer way with much less dosage of the X-rays. So, and of course, once you have these ultra-fast X-ray pulses, you can understand how the quantum particles work inside materials, and you can come up with ways to make quantum devices which can harness energy, which can transfer energy, and we can also find ways to store energy in a much better way.
I was going to say, I keep thinking medical and I keep thinking health because you're looking at proteins here, but there are all sorts of applications here, aren't there?
Definitely. It touches on a lot of fields. In fact, you can also apply it in computer chips. If you want to image those computer chips which have features that are so small that you can't see them under a microscope, you can use these X-rays to see those computer chips, which are modern computer chips.
Yeah, and this thing is so small, you can keep it in the basement of the Biodesign Institute, right?
It is super accessible. We hope, with our success, we hope that we can make it so accessible that you can have them not just in university labs, you can have them in hospitals, you can have them in industry. So everyone can have access to this technology, which is currently limited to just few facilities in the world.
Last question, and we're running out of time here, but I want to know, is there a next step? Is there a second version of this?
Right, so we have achieved our first milestone. We have produced the X-rays. Now we want to make them into a laser-like beam of X-rays, which will open up even more applications for us. And that's what we want to achieve with the help of our collaborators, with the help of ASU, with the help of community support. We want to get there to basically support our young scientists, to place the critical instrumentation in place to achieve this goal.
Oh, wow. Arvinder Sandhu, again, ASU, CXA, we're going to let the letters play for themselves. Congratulations on this, and thanks for sharing the story. It's fascinating.
Thank you very much for having me. I'm happy to come back here again to report on
All
our
right,
success.
well, we may just ask you back there. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
And that is it for now. I'm Ted Simons. Thank you so much for joining us. You have a great evening.